This ain't hard to deal with. So he's looking because one of his followers is like that. And so Zacchaeus is trying to figure out, why would Jesus hang around kept like this? And so he wants to see Jesus. He wants to now see him. But the crowd, there are too many people in the crowd. The crowd's too big. And when you're a tax collector, first of all, remember, just like the one with the issue of blood or a leper, you're not allowed to be around people. And you're not a very popular guy. And people are not likely to make a way for a tax collector to get to see anybody. There's a lot of shoving and pushing and probably some cursing. And any tax collector would be foolish to show up in that crowd anyway. You can't come out in front of people. I want to see Jesus. What the? You know, we're trying to get saved. So they kill him. So you don't even show your face. Let me bring it home. Let me bring it closer to you. You were driving the car that somebody was in that got hit and killed. That's painful, and I don't mean to bring but see, the tax collector stuff is not ringing for some of you. You sold the dope to the little boy who smoked it and OD'd. No. You delivered the blow that killed the woman that was trying to refuse your aggression, and it looked like rape, and she died. You do the blow. You signed the papers who got the family evicted and put outdoors, and the little boy died from pneumonia. You did. You're sitting in this church. You denied the child support that caused the little boy to be taken from his mom. You denied the job to the woman who could have been working, and she lost her job or couldn't get care for her children, so the state took her children away. I'm talking about you. See, those are things that we have today to deal with. And now everybody knows who you are, even when you come to church. And now you stand up and you would want to come down for prayer. And the saints who have heard about you say, if he stands up, don't let him come down there. That's Zacchaeus. He's looking for a good man, but he's a bad man himself. And maybe he's not such a bad man, he just does a bad thing for a living. But he's receiving hope. Get this message, church. He's receiving hope not because he knows Jesus, but he's seeing who else is hanging with Jesus. See, Jesus had a bad reputation, church, because of the people who were being changed. That was hard to get, right? They didn't just dislike Jesus because he was Jesus. They disliked Jesus because of the people that were being changed by him. Did that make sense to anybody? See, and I can tell now that as much as I go to church, I've kind of grown to learn that most of us are not even seeking Jesus anyway. We're distracted by the people who are seeking Jesus. We go to church because we say we want him, but when we see who keeps coming back, it bothers us. And it makes us uncomfortable. And if Satan makes sure nobody comes back that week, he's going to make sure the person comes back that's distracting you. And that person starts to change. And so he knows that he needs to see Jesus. Now, remember I told you that he was vertically challenged. I don't want to say short because that's like an insult to some people. Because short people don't like to be told that. Because they trip a lot. Short people got this image going. And I always talk to short people because I used to be short one time before I built these stairs up on this church. And being short, I felt like I had to be loud. I did. I had to be seen. I had to be heard. I had to be powerful. Because any other time when you're a person that's shorter, people tend to look down on you. That's for a lot of short people have to be aggressive. They have to be loud. They have to have more and do more and be more. And what you have to be careful of if you're a short person in stature is that you don't try to seek high positions and you have not become a big person yet. And sometimes because you feel like you got to be bossy and talk and loud, then you feel like you have to be in high positions, but you're still a very little person. And it takes a while before you mature and realize, see, and I was talking to one of my brothers yesterday, one of our little brothers in men's fellowship, and so we came with this thing. I don't know if he's here today, but he's just a cool guy. And he was talking to me, and to him, he is like 7'5", and he probably is every bit of 4'11", maybe 5 feet. Grown man, child, everything. You know when I'm looking at the top of your head, you. And so I talked to him about that, and he's just like, no, to me, I am a big guy. Zacchaeus was a little guy. So he wants to see Jesus, and here's how the story goes. He climbs up in this tree. And when he climbs up in this tree, he climbs up to see over the crowd. But what if he climbs in this tree because he wants to hide? Remember, they don't like him. Remember, he does a bad thing for a living. We tell the story from the Bible that he wants to see Jesus, so he climbs up high. That's the way we told the story for years. And as I've been studying this message and looking at it real carefully and talking about the fact that we all hide, what if, not just because, but what if he's climbing in that tree because he wants to hide? Why would he want to hide? Well, first of all, he has done everything that he could to be known. But if he's known now, somebody might kill him. Knowing and being known are his greatest longing and his greatest fear. He wants to be known, but if he's known now, that's his greatest fear. See, sometimes you want to be so popular. You want to be so seen, and now once you're finally seen, your biggest fear is, now too many people know me. So now maybe they'll all know my faults. But I went into this thing because I wanted to be like somebody else. I wanted to be powerful. I wanted to be strong. Some of you are very envious of other people's popularity. And now that you have popularity, you understand that you don't like being with all the doors of your life wide open. So you have a fear of being out. And it's not that anything is wrong with it. It's just that when you go out and you don't comb your hair, you're seen as somebody who's having a rough life. No. Just didn't have a chance to swish it and move it. I had a chance this week to talk to people that are in that light who would just come and say, can we have a private meeting with you? Yes. Their worlds are filled with people, millions everywhere they go. Can we just come and have a private meeting with you, Pastor? No people, no nothing. Yes. And so we talk about this. And so I talk about why is it so important that the meetings that you have with me or the times around here are so private? Not that it's so private. It's just that we all have things that we don't want people to know about. And sometimes we don't want people to know that we can go in public without lipstick. We can go in public without makeup. Do you know sometimes you spend so much time trying to perfect you that when you find yourself around people that don't understand that you really are a human being, you're really not a Barbie doll. They don't know how to respond to you. So Zacchaeus, maybe he's up there because he's hiding. He really wants to see Jesus, but he knows that if he shows his face, they're going to get him. How many of you in here right now know, don't raise your hand, please. I don't mean that like that. You know that you want the Lord in your life, but you cannot be detected. So now Jesus is coming closer. Zacchaeus is up in this tree. He's a little man, he's a tax collector, he does a bad thing for a living, but he needs Jesus. And he's noticing, guess who else is coming with Jesus? Matthew. Part of the entourage. So he's up there, and then he gets right beside the tree. Jesus is there, and he's standing beside the tree, and he's looking up into the tree, and the whole crowd of people are looking now, and they're trying to figure out, what is Jesus looking at? Because when you lead people, what you see, they see. When you look, they look. If you shake hands with people, everyone wants to know, who is that? If you speak to people, everyone wants to know, why is he speaking to her? Why is she speaking to him? Is this mic on, son? Why are you playing with it? Y'all couldn't have heard that. Somebody would have said amen. No, when you're a leader, the reason most people don't want to be leaders is because you never thought that people really watched you when you were a leader. of anybody in the building, there are certain people that I can preach all day to, and I will never see, but I will see what a leader does. I see if a leader's playing in church, if a leader's sleeping in church. It seems to not be fair, but that's the price you pay when you want to be a leader. So sometimes people say, I don't want to be up there anymore. I don't want people seeing me like that. You wanted it, you got it, but you hate the fear of being accountable for it. I want a job, but now you fear the taxes. How many men are hiding who want a job but deny a job because they fear child support? Dog, I don't need a job because I don't need all my money going to her. That hurt a little bit. That did. Let's just sit right here and deal with that one for a second. I'm not going to talk about it. You want everybody to know you got a son. That's my son. That's my son. That's my daughter. That's my daughter. That's my child. That's my child. That's my child. That's my child. And out of your check, that's your child support. I don't think I'm gonna be able to work. Come on. That's the fear of it. So we climb back into our sycamore trees called our mama's houses. No, guys, I'm not condemning. I'm not one of these old condemning dudes. I hate people sit up and down men. This is not a downing man thing. It's not. I don't like people sit up and do that. But sometimes we get into our sycamore tree because we know where we can be protected. We know where we cannot be seen. We know where we can get a good view, and no one will ever have to know that we're being taken care of. But we're not taking care of our business. And he's not only close, but he's right there. And somebody's asking Jesus, what is he looking at? It looks like a kid up there, because remember, Zacchaeus short. And Jesus says, Zacchaeus, in my Bible, it just stops with some expression. Zacchaeus! And when he calls his name, people start to look. Zacchaeus, one word. See, when he says Zacchaeus, hey, anybody up there? See, that's everybody. Zacchaeus, oh, shoes. Who told him? I'm trying to teach it because we're going to preach it the next couple of Sundays, but who told him that I was here? And how does he know my name? See, what bothers you this morning is when you come to church, the pastor will say something that's got your name all over it. I'm not going back there because now he's in my business. He was trying to talk about me, and I don't want to be. Well, you're in hiding. You wanted to be found, but you're confused that God called your name. And if he didn't say it specifically, he called your situation. And he loves you so much, he didn't call your name. He just said, you know, this is your story. I'm going to let that preacher say it. And now I want you to know that I'm not trying to clown you, but I want you to know when I call your name, it's time for you. Come on down.